Yeah, shout out to Concrete Magazine for giving me a chance to be heard on a platform, and just, you know, it's always been a dream of mine to be on this platform. So yeah, King the MC, follow me on everything, King the MC, and stay tuned. Got a lot more in store for you.
This is Concrete TV. Concrete TV.
Hey, my man, let's take it from the top, man. Where you originally from?
So born in Phoenix, but I couldn't tell you what Phoenix looks like. I've never seen it. My mom, she moved to Nashville when she was 2 and raised me, and I grew up in Nashville all my life, Antioch, to be more specific.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. So, style-wise, when it comes to your music, how would you describe yourself as an artist or your sound?
I think it's I have a poetic storytelling kind of vibe. I think is what I would say, like an old school hip hop kind of feel, and I think you can tell by listening to my music some of my influences, such as like Kendrick, Jay-Z, J. Cole, and Toby Nwigwe more recently. But yeah, though, no, I definitely consider myself to be a true MC. You know, try to make sure that my messages are always you know, inspiring, or I have a message at least in every piece that I do.
It's real. You mentioned some of your influences, and I caught one that I don't even know if you're probably aware of this, because you're probably too young, but it sounded, when I heard it, it reminded me of like Camp Lo. Are you familiar with Camp Lo?
I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not.
You ever heard of Lucini pouring from the sky? Let's get rich. What? Lucini
So,
pouring from the sky.
okay.
What?
Yeah.
All right, so I think it was Chasing the Devil.
See, still,
It's on your new project.
Oh, Battling Devils.
Battling
Yeah.
Devils. Yeah. When you listen, when I heard it, I was like, oh shit! Like, it took me to some Camp Lo, maybe some boot camp click type of shit.
See, you put me on game.
This is
right
like
now.
90s. This is like early 90s.
Okay.
But definitely. So I mean, do you like when listening to your music? I feel like you kind of embody that 90s sound. Were you highly influenced by the 90s? Or?
Yeah, I'm a 90s baby, man. So like, you know, Big L, Biggie, Pac, you know what I'm saying? Those, as cliche as it may sound, those were definitely some of my biggest influences. And then definitely, you know, early Kanye, early Jay-Z. And I know Kanye, that's 2000s, but still, growing up in the 90s, yeah, man, I tried to make sure that I like having an old soul and that being reflected in my music, you know.
And you can hear that. You can hear it. Like, there's a lot of, I would say, like you said, old soul, like almost like you talking to an old head on some of your shit, like what you saying, and it's like you've had to live. You know what I'm saying? You had to experience life. And I by listening to your music, I can hear that.
A lot, man.
So production wise, you went like a different route compared to what you're hearing a lot right now. I mean, maybe some of the cats, like you said, Kendrick, Dreamville, but I mean, what is it like? How do you go about picking your beats and your production and shit?
So a lot of times, you know, just I get a certain feeling when I'm listening to a beat, and you know, I oftentimes these days, early when I was writing, I would usually have the words before I would ever hear a beat, and I would just be trying to find a beat to put the words on. But these days, like, you know, I'll keep searching for a beat, you know, that really resonates, and whether it's you know, from an in-house producer, because I got a few friends of mine that produce that I try to work with as often as I can. Okay. But when they're busy and you know I feel like that, you know, it's time to try something different, I'll, you know, reach outside and, you know, get something from a you know, outside source. You know what I'm saying? A third party producer. Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of third parties, like I heard on one of the records you had a Black Metaphor.
Yeah, man. I was blessed. I got two Black Metaphor records, man. I was blessed. He blessed me on the Forrest Gump track. He blessed me with that, and then also on the Napoleon Hill piece, man. And his beats, man, like he gave me probably like 20 beats to choose from, and if I would have had the budget, you know what I'm saying, I would have bought them all, you know. Truth be told, but you know, I didn't quite have the budget, so I had to pick just, you know, a couple I could work with, man. And I was blessed. Those really spoke to me, man. And I actually, for the Forrest Gump jump, I actually had the words prior to finding the beat. That was one of those rare scenarios, like I told you, where early in my career, the Forrest Gump, those lyrics, man, those have been around for a lot of the songs that are on my album. The lyrics have been in me, and I wrote them like years ago.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for the right place to put them. You know what I'm saying, and then. God just put on my heart to say, what I'm saying, it's now or never.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Black Metaphor blessed me though, bro, with the Forrest Gump, man.
Real shit.
And me and him plan on working together a lot more in the future on some other stuff, yeah.
Word. So let's talk about the project, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly 2.
Yeah.
Right?
That's my favorite.
The first one I listened to, bro, that shit, I mean, that's a really fucking strong project, bro.
Thank you, bro.
And when I seen you release 2, I was like, uh-oh. You know what I'm saying? Like, can he follow up? You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. But listening to it, bro, like, you really went in. Like,
thank you, man.
Yeah, bro, for real. So what was the idea going into it? Like, what was the concept behind this one?
So on this one, I wanted to really put out a lot of the things that, because on the Good, the Bad, the Ugly 1, I kind of like really nitpicked at the songs that I was going. A lot of the tracks that made the second album, I've been sitting on, and I was just like kind of real hard on myself on the first album. I was like, you know what, I'm on. The world doesn't want so much music. Let me give them just 9, tracks or whatever. But on the second one, I was like, you know what, I was going through a lot in life, just different, hardships or whatever. I was just, I was like, I want to put out something and really inspire people. And I feel like, I want to give them a full project. I don't want to just give people, 9 tracks, 9, 10 tracks. I want to give them, a lot of stuff that I really been holding back. Some stories that I really, been holding in. Like on Choices, that's a piece on the album where there's a lot of true stories. All my music is like true stories based on my life or individuals around me. And on Choices, I actually tell a story on the last verse. If anybody gets a chance to peep that, where like I almost killed myself. Growing up like 16, playing with a gun, trying to scare this little chick that I was with at the time, and I had this gun, shot it several times before. It never worked. I thought it was a dummy gun that didn't work. So I'm playing with it like reckless, like it doesn't work. And this one time I put a couple bullets in it, aiming at my head, and this girl that's in front of me that I'm trying to scare, she's like begging me not to pull the trigger, and you know what I'm saying. So I pulled it once, and it didn't go off, and then I cocked it back again just to do it because she was crying. I was really trying to get the best of her, and it was a girl I was with. I was being childish. Plus, I also was going through things as a kid, suicidal thoughts and all that. Just really depressed and low point in life. So I just really didn't feel like I had much to live for. And she begged me not to. I aimed at the ground, pulled the trigger, actually went off. For the first time. And I tried to sell the gun. Prior to this, I couldn't prove that it worked to somebody that I was trying to sell it to. I couldn't prove. I tried to shoot 1,000 times. It wouldn't work. You feel me?
Yeah.
And this one occasion, when I'm playing around with this girl, the second time when I cocked it back, and I literally was about to pull the trigger, bro, she begged me not to. I seen her crying. I was like, nah, man, this is childish. And at the ground, and pulled the trigger, bro, and it went off, bro. And my parents didn't even come in the room. No one even heard it. It was a 22 little two shooter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like no one heard it. Nothing. I was just been laying in there. I know she was traumatized from that whole experience, and definitely gave me a perspective on life, like that I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
Crazy. I ain't mean to get super heavy, but
nah, that's what we want, man. And like, because there might be other people out there that are listening to this or reading this and feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? And take that away and be like, well, shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there is something for me to keep pushing towards.
That's why I want to inspire people, bro. I pray. I'm real spiritual. My whole writing, recording process is like a spiritual process for me these days. Like I became King the MC when I was incarcerated at the age of 18 for I couldn't stop smoking weed and went on a run. And long story short, they locked me up for weed, and I ended up flattening, and I had to do 8.5 months. You know what I'm saying? Over weed, just like smoking weed and some crazy stuff. I'm 18. I'm actually, I'm spending my birthday and Christmas and a lot of holidays, but in there, I, start getting real spiritual, you know what I'm saying, and writing a lot of poetry. And the individual that I met in there, he's like, man, you are knowledge inspiring new greatness, bro. Like, never forget that. And I was like, he's like, you a king, knowledge inspiring new greatness. And from there, I was like, bro, she's like, nah, take that name. And I was like, I'm still in there. He's like, nah, bro, that's yours. Like, blessed me with that. So I just been king of MC since, and came out, and I like I said, after that moment, getting out of jail, and I took the poetry that I had written in there, turned it into songs, and then I promised, and I told myself, like, from now on, like, I'm gonna make sure the music I make is gonna, I want to make music that is meaningful, that is, I'm speaking from a place of, like, I'm actually living. Everything I say is like what I've lived. I'm not trying to be nothing I'm not. And I know that being me, I will inspire people to be themselves, go after their dreams despite their circumstances, despite the hardships they face. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom, I'm the oldest of 6. You know what I'm saying? My mom had me when she was 15. She got pregnant at 14. She was Caucasian. My dad being black, her parents didn't like that. They kicked her out. She was homeless. That's why she moved to Phoenix, bro. She got pregnant here, but her parents like kicked her out, so she moved to Phoenix. And because there was a woman who's nice enough, was like, you can come stay with me with the woo. So she came up. She went out there to stay with the woman, and the woman, and for a couple years, and then her parents, they finally came around. Or whatever. God bless. God rest in peace. My grandma. She was so sweet. When I grew up, I couldn't even imagine her being that woman that would put my mom out pregnant, because she was the sweetest woman I ever met. But anyway, so going through that, it's just growing up poor, man. It was just crazy, brothers. You know what I'm saying? Not, it was Christmas times when, my mom be crying and wishing, it just, I want to encourage people, like, it doesn't matter where you come from, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can rise up. Like, you don't have to be, a victim of your circumstances. Your start doesn't have to be your ending. It's up to us. All we got to do is think and grow rich. Like, believe it, we can achieve it. I'm on that, like, all day. So, I'm rambling, bro.
Nah, you good, bro. I'm listening.
I'm getting passionate. I'm real passionate when it comes to this music,
I can hear that within your music too, man. So, what would you say? Because there's like 20 something tracks on this project.
Yeah, so a couple of them were skits I put on there to reflect the stories. I wanted to kind of give people a better insight on so Jordan Bone is a friend of mine. He got drafted to the Detroit Pistons. That's the No Gas track you hear. The skit, the Jordan Bone draft day, is literally a live it was an audio taken from a live video from someone that was there on the day he got drafted. You know what I'm saying? His speed, powerful, emotional. Same thing with the Mookie Betts. That was his mom. I wanted to really get intimate. I wanted people to I wanted to be like an audio movie. So you know what I'm saying?
Word. So what would you say your favorite song is off this project, and why?
So the first one, I would say, is the first one, man. The Ain't Nothing Sweet, John. And the reason being is because it really, that song wasn't. It made it on the album on a buzzer beater kind of thing. Like, I had submitted the album to be released to Ditto. I used Ditto to drop my music, and Ditto had responded back saying that basically I had to the graphics, there was some text on the graphic I was using that they didn't approve, and the night that I had submitted the music to Ditto, I basically got the album, the song Ain't Nothing Sweet back the same night, and I was like, man, when I submitted it initially, I was like, if I could get that one song, you know what I'm saying, I could put it on the album, that would be the intro. But I was like, well, I'm still gonna put the album out with or without it. I was going through a tough time. Putting out the album was kind of like something I didn't plan on when I was gonna do it. I just did it, no promo, no anything. I just said, like, I'm gonna let God, do the work. I'm gonna walk in faith. I'm gonna let the music speak for itself and put it out here. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford to do promo. I'm going through some tough times even now in my life financially. I'm trying to take care of my own family. So I was like, putting the music out there, use what I got, like I told you. And like I said, I got on the when Ditto didn't approve of the first time I inputted the album, I had a chance to, because I had just got back the mix and master version of the first track, so I was like, yes, now's my chance to reorder the track list, put this album on it, and basically I like that one because it's, telling, like I said, telling a story of, no matter, your success is something that everyone can attain, but it's not going to be easy. Ain't nothing sweet. Like, it's not going to be what you think. Like, if you think it's easy, I wholesale real estate. I've had situations where, I've worked my butt off and, didn't. It finally got a little bit of money, and but I have other situations where I kind of fell into some money. But like I said, I've learned going through everything that I went through that ain't nothing sweet in life. Like, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I love that track, man. I love that track, man. Just because it's like a storytelling, real hip hop vibe. So
got you. So you had a line in one of the records that said, you said something about you was a womanizer, and you hoped it didn't curse you. And you had 3 kids, and there ain't
listening, man. I like
right?
you,
and there ain't no son in you, right? So,
no son yet, man.
Yeah. So 3 girls, 3 girls. I got 4 girls, man. So 3 girls.
Yeah.
How is that impacted? Well, not only the hunger, but how has that impacted your creativity and the way you're making music now?
Well, because I'm definitely knowing that my kids is listening. Kids are malleable. My daughters is whatever hit. I definitely try to protect them as much as I can. But music is out there, the radio. I'm keeping in mind that it's gonna be kids of all ages singing my music. So knowing that my daughters are going to eventually hear the music I'm putting out, I'm wanting to be mindful of that. And knowing that other little kids might be singing my stuff, I'm trying to be mindful of that as well. And want to be proud when I hear them singing. I want to be proud and not cringe. I want it to be a vibe where I'm like, yeah, like that's it. And be proud in them, and them feeding them life instead of. So yeah, it definitely humbled me and put me in kind of check to it. It's like I can't just be out here making music that's just calling women out their name and disrespecting women and all that. Because I'm a man. I can admit that I've done plenty of that. I've done a lot of women bad and definitely have a lot of regrets on how treated women and even valued just the whole being of a woman. But these days, like I said, man, I have a high respect for women and my daughters, man, knowing that they're gonna grow up and be women. I want to make sure that I'm setting a good example. And when they, like I said, I just want to encourage other kings and princes out there to like I said, value, respect women, not look at them as like I said, just a piece of meat or any of that. Like it's they're queens and princesses, and just like we're kings, and so that's just what I try to embody. So
word. So earlier you had mentioned some of your influences, and you had mentioned and I'm gonna fuck his name up, but Toby Nwigwe, right? Nwigwe, right?
Yeah.
So Toby Nwigwe. And you actually had a fucking dope experience with dude where you actually got to spit for him.
Man,
right?
that was a blessing.
Break that down a little bit, man. Tell the story.
So that story is basically I had a friend of mine that put me on Toby, and I was like, yeah, man, he's definitely someone I could vibe with because he was someone I'm very very similar content, spiritual. You can tell that he's spiritual in his music. Definitely. Trying to feed you life in his music. So I definitely was digging that, and immediately became a fan. And soon, about 2 weeks after hearing about him for the first time, I see that he's going on tour, his first tour ever. I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make this happen. Like, I'm gonna get my coins together. I'm gonna definitely go. So, a couple days later, I had the money. I went ahead and bought the VIP tickets, and I told my friends, I was like, you know what, man, I have actually a chance to like meet and greet this dude. I'm gonna rap for him. Like, if I get a chance to like meet him, I'm gonna go ahead and just rap for him. Like, I'm hungry. I want him to at least know of me. I want to like, I don't want to have like cross paths with this man and he don't know like that King MC exists. Like there's another hungry artist that's in your in your realm that's like, so I just wanted to make myself known. And so I told myself I'm gonna rap for him, and so I like I said, a couple months later the concert finally comes, the show comes at the Mercy Lounge, and I wait at the meet and greet. I come early, but I see it's kind of a little thicker than I thought. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait to be the very last person because I see that they have a strict policy. Like they're telling the ladies that's kind of organizing, keeping everybody in check. She's like, oh, you do no videos and this and that. So I'm like, all these rules and stuff. But I was like, whatever, I don't care. I'm still gonna rap, even if I can't get it on video. I'm still gonna rap for them, whatever. So I wait to be the very last person. I'm letting like 300 people in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting. I'm like, okay, get in front of me. So I'm finally up to meet him, and I'm so excited and so overwhelmed with emotion. I can't even get out. I can't even explain to him what I've just done. Like I can't even tell him that, hey man, I just waited in line to. I'm trying to say it, but I get like halfway through the sentence. I mean, you see how excited I get, man. I get excited. So I got halfway through the sentence, and basically I just started rapping, bro, because that's what I'm better. I'm a better rapper than orator at this skills. Like, I'm gonna work on my orator skills, but music's how I communicate best.
Yeah.
And so I just started rapping to him, bruh. A verse off of my True Colors song, and bruh, he was nice. Him and his producer Linnell, she's fire too. They were just sitting there, they was vibing, and a couple punchlines, halfway in, he started really getting into it. And there were some moments we kind of like fell back, and at the end of it all, bruh, he like embraced me, and like it was really emotional because I felt it in his spirit, because I had my pops growing up, so it means something to me, you know what I'm saying, when a man that I like look up to, you know what I'm saying, give me that affirmation. Like I'm not afraid to say that, like that I value, I appreciate that, like when, you know what I'm saying, somebody respect and, admire, like was like, yeah, and he told me, he was like, bro, fire, like I feel in my spirit, like fire, bro, like you know what I'm saying, like don't let up, like don't stop, you know what I'm saying, and yeah, that blessed me. Like, so a couple days later, I'm thinking, like, maybe because he didn't post anything, like he was posting different things about Nashville and his experience, but he didn't say nothing about my little rapping for him. So I'm like, damn, maybe it didn't really leave an impact or whatever. But I was like, I wasn't tripping. I was like, whether he posted about it or not, whatever, but so like I said, 4 days go by, and then all of a sudden my homie hit me up and was like, bro, he posted you on his like page, like he captioned your verse, like he had his people, because that's something that's like a Toby trademark. He captions all his videos, and he captioned my verse, like the whole experience, posted about it, and it went like slick viral, like 125. Like I got like crazy followers and people like tread like over the next couple days after that. Like it was crazy feedback and positive feedback, and just people tapping in, like giving me so much great energy after that. So beautiful. It really like turned me up, what I'm saying, to make me go get it.
Okay, so a little bit before, you had mentioned being 18 and getting out of jail, and taking the poetry that you wrote and turning it into rhymes.
Yeah.
So was that the first time that you started writing?
Writing music?
Like rapping, yeah. Was that when you were 18, or were you already doing it before?
I was doing it. I started recording music when I was like 14, but it was like more like, more worldly, more like entertaining than you know what I'm saying, trying to inspire. I had no intention of like inspiring anyone. In my earlier years, I was just trying to just rhyme words together cleverly and get some reactions out of people. So excuse me. So yeah, it definitely. I started writing when I was like 14, recording when I was like 15, and real worldly. I was cool though. People compare me to Cassidy because I had aggressive punchlines. Like I would have like battle rapping mentality. Like I was cool with bars major. You know what I'm saying? So he knew about my that side of me. He saw like what I'm saying, there was a lot of potential for me to take it there. On as far as like that realm, either battle rapping or even just being in that type of hip hop realm where I'm being a more of an entertainer, you know what I'm saying, than like trying to be like a positive influence or like I am now or whatever. So yeah, going to jail just changed the subject, change like the content and the way I rap and the intent and me actually bringing God into it and getting spiritual and praying before I write and praying before I record, you know what I'm saying, and obsessing over the mute. Like when I was in jail, I would do this thing where like I stay up overnight until I finish poems. Like I wouldn't go to sleep until I finished this poem. Like I would start a poem and I wouldn't there's no such thing as writer's block. I fight through that. Like I'm taking different approaches and and I would push myself through, you know what I'm saying, the humps of like maybe, momentarily running out of spit or running out of, bars or whatever, and I just pray again and God give me the words. And, that's one thing that he's always done for me. He's always blessed me with the words when it comes to my music. Yeah. Man, so I give God all the glory, you know what I'm saying?
Word. You said I didn't read none of the letters that you didn't write me. Right?
Yeah.
Who was you talking to?
Man, I was talking to people.
Everybody?
I was talking to close friends. I was talking to, the girl that I was with at the time. She's my wife now. Okay. We made it past all that, but definitely, I definitely was poking at the people who you would expect to be there. But it's like, being in jail in the midst of it all, it's like I couldn't understand it. But then getting out and realizing, like, man, so many people, they got their own lives, they got their own troubles, they're going on in life. You can't really expect everyone to put their life on pause for you. But at the same token, though, it's nice to know, when you're in there, that someone that someone cares. Occasional letter would have been nice. What I'm saying? you know, just to feel like, you know, visits, you know, none of that. You know, it was very rare. I had a few, you know, people that came time to time, but mostly it was my mom, you know what I'm saying, holding it down for me. She always been there for me.
Word.
But anything, yeah.
Word. So, 2020, you just dropped a new project.
Yeah.
What can the people be expecting from you for the rest of the year, man?
Visuals, man. Shows, more live performances.
Okay.
I'm definitely trying to tap in, you know, and put myself out there and make myself more well known as a great performer.
Okay.
Definitely, like I said, more music videos to captivate, you know, all the songs that we got. Because as you know, in the last project, I tried to shoot a music video for almost every song, and I'm gonna, you know, try to shoot as many videos as we can that make sense, you know, for this next project. So definitely a lot of visuals. You know, even some singles, some more music, maybe some collaborations, things of that nature. But you know, just put and then also doing more stuff with the community. Like I plan on going back into the jails and trying to, you know, create situations where I could, you know, either do shows, rap for them, because that's something that I did when I was in there. Every opportunity I get they would have like these different church meetups and stuff. I try to step up and rap for the inmates in there or whatever, because it'd be like a bunch of pods will come together for these type of meetings, and I'm trying to create a situation where I can go back to jail in Rutherford County where I was held at, and then also like in Davidson County and surrounding counties, and just try to, you know, give these inmates, you know, some inspiration, because, you know, I think that's one thing that the world kind of it's kind of taboo, or maybe it's kind of like not even thought about as much as it should be, but just encouraging those, you know what I'm saying, that have been, you know, incarcerated, whether you know, they should be there or they shouldn't, you know what I'm saying, it's still, you know, they still need encouragement.
For sure.
So yeah, definitely trying to get more involved in that in high schools and all that, man. I gotta just trying to be, like I said, more involved in the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, last question, man. For someone out there that has never heard your music, doesn't know your name, isn't familiar with Toby and what he posted, anything like that, tell them why they should go click play on your music today.
Man, because I'm speaking from a place of you know, growing up poverty stricken, but knowing that there was so much more in store for me. My music is going to inspire the minds of those who listen. It's definitely going to resonate, and you're going to hear a track that resonates with you in your heart, that you can relate to, because I'm speaking from a very real place where I feel like most people could definitely understand where I'm coming from in at least one of the tracks that I have on my project. But yeah, man, I'm definitely, like I said, relatable music, you know, with a message, with a meaningful message, you know, with the intent to inspire.
Word. That's what it is, man.